Hello children. So today we are working on two question words. The first is when. We use when we're asking when something happened. So it could be a day, a month, a year, a time that we're asking about. So first of all, let's remember how you spell the word when. Some people like to remember that there's a word hiding inside the word, and that is hen. That helps some people remember how to spell this. Or you can remember it's got a WH at the beginning, like who and why and where. Lots of our question words have WH. And then the last two sounds, you can chop those up yourself. So when. Write it down, make sure you absolutely know how to spell the word, and then you're ready to go. So today you're going to be asking some when questions. You're going to find somebody in your house or somebody in school if you're in school, or you could always call somebody up to ask these questions. So I've given you 4 when questions, and then you've got to think of one last one on your own. So my first question is, when is your birthday? When do you wake up in the morning? When did you go to school? When did you last go to the seaside? And then one more. So pause the video and go and ask your questions. So our next question word is what? What? So some people remember when they're writing what that there's another word inside here, the word hat. They might go what hat, and that can help them remember the spelling. Or you can remember that lots of question words have WH at the beginning. The T is easy enough. What? I can hear that. It's this A that's the hardest part of the word because it sounds like it should be an O, ot, but it's not. It's an A, so that's the one to focus on. Practice that spelling, make sure it's clear in your head, and then let's get going. Okay, so let's look at this little monkey. What could we ask him? What would you want to find out from him? So you could say, what are you? Or you could ask about him, what is he? Or what is so? Pause the video and write your question. I would ask him, what is so hilarious? I am desperate to know what he's laughing at. This little boy's peeking through a hole in the fence. So I want you to think of a what question for him. What is he? Or what can he? Or what is? Pause the video and think of a what question about this photo. I am desperate to know, what is he looking at? I want to know what is behind that fence. Probably because I'm a bit nosy. Oh, I love this picture. There's a scuba diver there, and he's in a big cave. Beautiful. So can you think of a what question about this picture? What is or what can? Pause the video, write it down. I would want to know what is at the bottom of the cave. My main thought would be, is there any eels? So I would want to know what is at the bottom of the cave, just in case I needed to be worried about what was down there. Now, is a scientist busy making some concoctions? So what could we ask him? What will or what is? What would you like to ask about this picture? Very interesting. I feel like I want to watch his story. Pause the video and write your question. I'd want to know, what is he creating? What's happening in those test tubes? What's he making? Is it something good or something not so good? Now this man, this picture makes me feel a little bit sad. He's looking a bit upset and glum. He's looking down at this flower. So you could ask, what is or what happened? See if you could think of a question starting with what. Pause the video. and write it down. After you've written, I want you to make sure that you've got a capital W and that you've remembered your question mark. I'd want to know what is making him feel so sad. Now, imagine you met Queen Elizabeth II in her posh house, Buckingham Palace in London. So, I want you to think of one when question for her and one what question for her. So think about them and write them on your sheet. Now, for your final job today, you're going to be answering some questions. I want you to write in full sentences. So you can answer some when questions and some what questions. So here's an example of how to answer these questions. So the first one is, when is your birthday? So I'm imagining this little girl is answering, my birthday is in November. Full sentence that makes sense. And that answer is not a question, it's a statement. So full stop for these. When do you wake up in the morning? I wake up at 7:30 a.m. every morning. Full stop. What is your favourite colour? My favourite colour is blue. Full stop. What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a farmer. Stop. What do you do at the weekend? At the weekend I play football and I paint pictures. What is your dream meal? My dream meal is spaghetti bolognese and garlic bread. So your turn now. Give me full sentences and answer those questions.